If you're Italian, look away. Today, we're just going to chat. I'm going to make pasta. I thought I was going to be making whole wheat pasta, which is what I've been making for several years, but apparently I was out of whole wheat flour. So here we go with the white flour. This is my basic pasta dough recipe. Like I said, I typically do whole wheat. I switched to making whole wheat pasta about a year ago. Just trying to get hubby and I and kiddo eating healthy. We eat pretty healthy as it is, but I just really, I'm trying to follow the same things that I live by in the business, where it's, eliminating all of those manufactured chemical ingredients. So, it started with bread and canning jam and, has just gone from there to lots of different things. So I hope you enjoy my little ASMR here of pasta making. I do love kneading pasta dough. I know it's really weird, but once it all starts coming together, I enjoy it. Like I said, if you're Italian, look away, because by the time we get to the rolling and the cutting, it's I am not traditional in my cooking. I am not a trained pasta maker, and I will throw pasta together on a random Tuesday night, because that's what we're gonna have for dinner. And when I do that, it is typically I roll it out, I cut it into strips, I cut it into little squares, and it's just these little pillowy squares of goodness of pasta. And they're not any shape that you've ever had, but they're so good. Um, but white flour, not my number one choice. Um, but even this has less ingredients than the store-bought pasta. So, and of course, so we got the flour, water, extra virgin olive oil, eggs, and then I use hubby's smoked salt, because Mr. Gray makes an amazing smoked salt for me, and I love adding that flavor in. So that's the basic recipe. It's kind of funny because when I was switching over to whole wheat, Mr. Gray was not excited about it. He was just like, I've had whole wheat pasta before. It's not really my favorite. He was not overly excited, but I have to say it's become one of his favorite things. And this past year, 2024, for their birthday, kiddo asked for homemade pasta with chicken and veggies and the homemade sauce, because we do can our pasta sauce too, which the pasta sauce, I make just the basic pasta sauce recipe, which is, if you've made it before, it is a full day activity, but the house smells amazing from start to finish. And I make a huge batch of it, so it lasts us several months. And it's actually Mr. Gray's mom's basic recipe. And then the way I do it is I just can just the pasta sauce. And then on the day of, I always have fresh veggies that I mix in. So we really like having like green pepper, red and yellow onion, mushrooms is of course a staple, and then we've gotten really into having chicken mixed in with it. So I saute up all of that and then mix in the sauce and pour in the pasta when it's all done, and it is so good. I really like it. But I do love the fact that my family likes it as well. I mean, making the pasta is definitely a commitment. I have not, it's so sticky. For me, with sensory things, I have a texture thing with sensory stuff, and the pasta at this stage right here with my hands covered. I don't like slime. Like the kid slime. Like, I make it You know, kiddo loved making slime when she was little. I do it in art classes when I teach art classes. It's super fun to make, but I'm just not a fan. Like, I always just live for the moment when everything stops sticking to me. But, we get there. We work through it. We get there eventually. But, there's times when you can't make this. But, the great thing is you work on it, you get it mixed together, you let it sit a little bit, you roll it out, you cut it, and then you can let it sit and dry. So, like, if you have a little bit of time when you get home, a few hours before dinner, you can let it sit and dry on a piece of parchment. And then it takes like 2 minutes to cook in the water. So when I can, I like to do the homemade pasta. I have not figured out yet how to make and dry pasta, when you get pasta at the store and it's made and it's dried and then you rehydrate it. And so I haven't figured that out yet, but fresh pasta for the win is always good for me. I'll just go with that for right now. But over the last year, we've just really been trying to make as many swaps as we can to the most basic ingredients. Our food isn't basic. Our food is delicious and has lots of amazing seasonings and ingredients, but it's, we get all of the different individual seasoning ingredients that we like and, mix those together for whatever we're using or doing. Fresh garlic, fresh veggies, fresh herbs, all of that. What I'm in the process of now is really trying to get a garden going, which, if you don't know where I currently live in the middle of a desert. And so, as you can imagine, growing is difficult here. But I'm trying. Part of me just wishes, have you ever been to Disney World and been on it's one of my favorite rides in Disney World. I think it's called Living with the Land, and it's in Epcot, and it's this little boat ride thing that takes you through the hydroponic farm that they have on Disney property, and that's my dream. I just want that. Actually, I just want to live in Hawaii and have an acre to grow all my own things. But that's pipe dreams. We're getting there. Need to sell more soap and lotion to make that dream happen. But, one soap bar, one bottle of lotion at a time, and we'll make it. But it is tough to get those fresh veggies growing here. But still try. I had a teeny tiny little tomato. I'll have to show you. Oh, I'll have to post my little tiny tomato. The peas are doing well. We're trying. But if anybody has tips for desert growing for vegetable gardens, please in the comments let me know. Also, if anybody has actually gone on the ride and loves it as much as I do, I am such a science nerd. So if you've been to Disney and done that ride, I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite things to do at Disney. I love going through there and seeing all the amazing things that they do. Kiddo jumped in to help me on this. I just saw where we're at. So this is the tiny little pasta things. As silly as it sounds, it just super easy. I don't stress about what my pasta looks like. I try to make them all the same size because Michael Simon taught me that when I used to watch The Chew. That show taught me how to cook. And I miss that show so much. I loved watching Michael Simon cook. His 5 and 5s were amazing. Kiddo's favorite was the chicken marsala. She still loves it to this day. But anyway, wow, sidetrack again. This dough was super soft. I think it's because I'm so used to the wheat flour, which is definitely a stiffer dough. So I enlisted Kiddo's help here. She's a great help. She'll load all that pasta up and get it over onto the parchment for drying, but the dough was very soft, but that's okay because it was still delicious. And that's my French rolling pin. My husband and I always joke about stuff because uh see how soft and sticky that dough is? Oh my goodness. It's all right. Add some flour, roll it around. We make it work. It's not a stress. We just make it work. But anyway, I've had a French rolling pin. When kiddo was younger, she was really into baking, thought she wanted to actually become a professional baker. Baked for over a year for our church. And so we have the French rolling pin because that's what she had wanted. And the first time my mother-in-law came up to do Christmas cookies with us one year, the next time we went down to her house, she gave us a real rolling pin because she said mine was not a real rolling pin. She's like, no, you don't have a real one. You need a real one. And she gave me a very, very nice, like marble, very heavy rolling pin. But, my husband always likes to give me a hard time about that now. He's like, do you want your rolling pin or the real rolling pin? But, I pretty much stick with my French rolling pin. But it's just super fun. Yeah. There's so many things that I've tried this past year. I've made some stuff for a long time. Honey French bread was the only bread that kiddo would eat for like 7 years. And then I made cheddar jalapeno is Mr. Gray's favorite. And then after a while, kiddo actually switched to when I started making ciabatta bread. She loves that as well. That's her absolute favorite now. And it makes a mean BLT. That is such a good bread for a BLT. And Mr. Gray loves the sourdough bread also. But it's kind of crazy because through the pandemic, we actually, it was a scary time for everybody, but because I already made so much food at home, we had chickens, I can a lot, so we were okay, I didn't have to worry about some of the staples that other people had to worry about, which was just such a blessing. And that really kind of strengthened my resolve for trying to, do as much as I can at home for us. So, we always have the breads. We have the jams and jellies. The pasta sauce. I love making homemade pasta now. Something I completely have failed at thus far, though, is hummus. So changing diets for Mr. Gray has been a top priority in the last year to make sure that he's stuck with me for a very long time. But one of the things that I try to have him have every day is hummus. And I tried to make it. So if anybody wants to drop some hummus recipes in the comments or shoot a link to me of a good hummus recipe or tips, tricks on how to make it good, because it was edible. Like, that was it, though. Like, it didn't taste like hummus that we can get, at the store or, like, at Pita Jungle or, didn't taste like the hummus that I was hoping it would taste like. So, if you have any suggestions, please help a girl out. But, or recipes that you love. We love trying new and different things. Next thing I want to try and do is like canning salsas, but I know that that's really difficult with the acidity. So I've been working on learning that, in between doing all the research for the next soap and lotion release and some more cleaning products and all that stuff that, for the business. Then, when I'm not researching for that, I'm researching for dinner. So it's the nerd in me. I love learning about different ways to make things, different ingredients to use, how different things are done in different places, how things were done before. I feel like I say this a lot, but like I just really feel like sometimes we had things right a long time ago, and we've gotten away from some of those things, you know? So I guess that's part of the reason that, I make the soaps and the lotions and the cleaning products, and that I still can and make bread. And I guess that's me just kind of having that connection to a way of life that I think made a lot of sense. Trying to have a garden, all of those things. It matters to me. So, and trying to get our family healthy. It's crazy. It's not that we're not unhealthy. It's just, you can go down those rabbit holes a bit of like seeing, it started when kiddo was 2 and she was having me read her bubble bath ingredients. I've shared that story. You can go back and find it. I won't bore you with it again, but seeing the ingredients that were in her bubble bath versus the ingredients in the food that I was making her. And I'm like, dang, okay, I've got to do better as a mom. Like, not that buying food from the grocery store means you're not doing good as a mom. Like, we all are doing our best in whatever way we can. We're doing our best. Just for me and my family, like, I just really want to try and make everything that I can to have it as whole and as close to the source as possible, That's what I would love to see for our family. So, one step at a time. And then there's other days when, McDonald's drive-through, Taco Bell drive-through, that happens too. So, I guess everything in equal and balance and all of that. But, oh, there's an up close of the little pillows. Don't they look yummy? That's before they're cooked. And then into the pot they go. It's so good. I just tried to do a little bit of like showing you how I cook it and everything. But it just tastes so good. I really, really enjoy it. This is how you know they're done. When they start to float. It's kind of like a gnocchi if you think about that. Like, they just kind of pop up to the surface and you're about ready to go. And then I just mix the pasta in with everything else. So here's what dinner looked like that night. It was so good. And kiddo had leftovers for a few days that she just loved.